Hi everyone. I think we have some technical challenges as always, like technology doesn't work always, right? So it's fine. Being a technology company, I should not have started with that, but anyways. My name is Huseni, and I am the Vice President Asia Pacific Japan for Project 44. And as you can see, the topic today is one of the most critical, right? How supply chain visibility can be an accelerator to our journey of digital transformation. That's the topic that I'm going to talk about. I hope while I'm initiating, we have some luck and success with the connectivity. The whole idea was to play a video that talks about how supply chain is a very, very critical topic across the world. If you see just 3 years or 3.5 years back, supply chain was not the topic which was in the board discussions. Supply chain was a topic somewhere, it was so invisible. It's like an air that we are breathing, right? A lot of time we neglect that, but the moment somebody ensures that you are not breathing, then you know how important it is, right? So during the pandemic time, supply chain was the topic that came to boards, discussions, table of every CEO and CTO talking about how they can manage their supply chain better and more efficiently without affecting their business and operations. And that probably is the topic. So I think we will go just without the video that we wanted to play. We'll just go directly to the slides. And next one, please. Okay, so I already introduced you to the topic. The topic is very, very critical, but let's start with understanding of, I'm sure every organization here in one or the other way has started and embarked on the journey of digital transformation, right? There are a number of areas in the business where digital transformation can bring a lot of value to an organization, right from talking about people, the HR, how you hire your people, how you onboard them, how you engage and train them and make them more happy and more efficient in your organization. Right from there to some of the presenters talked about the factories of the future, right? Industry 4.0. Everything is digital transformation, right? And everything talks about you need to acquire to the new world and make your systems more efficient and more digital so that you have more information and you are more proactive about the situation. Are we able to move? Yes. So these are some of the topics. Here I'm not definitely going to talk about which one is more important for your organization, but I'm definitely going to talk about how supply chain visibility can be an accelerator to your digital transformation. When you initiate something new in your organizations, you need that blueprint. You need that kick that everybody buys immediately, right from your CEO to the real end user and employee. You need something that is proven that works very well right away. And we know that supply chain visibility can really work faster and can be an accelerator to your digital transformation journey. And that's the topic that I'm going to talk about today. Yeah? So let's have a look at how important the supply chains are, how critical they are. A few slides about that, and we'll talk about the visibility later. So supply chain is critical to every industry, right from it allowing you a global reach and innovation. It makes your customers happy as well, because everyone has an experience of Amazon, right? Right from the day you click a button order to the day it says now your order is packed and ready, and in 1 hour it will be delivered. You have an excellent experience, right? So supply chain is the function that makes it possible, right? We have those best examples of Amazons and Apples of the world, which has made that experience possible. So we know there are a number of areas. Supply chain is something also gives you a competitive advantage. Being top in the world or not also depends on your supply chain, right? Collaboration is one another thing. I think we have done collaborations past since the time of our independence. We know Suzuki and Maruti, those kind of collaborations have not been possible without supply chains, right? So very, very critical to know that supply chains works in every area of the business. And it's very important to discuss that these supply chains will somehow face a lot of global challenges, right? And the challenges are many, right? And that's why some of the top CEOs of the world consider supply chain as a very important. As you can read from the quotes behind, the CEO of Volvo Cars, somebody posted that on the LinkedIn, and I took that quote, but that's very, very important. I said it. Supply chain is something like an air that you breathe, but sometimes you neglect. And until the time when it is a situation where you are gasping for your air and you realize how important it is. So that's how important the supply chains are, right? Maybe the next slide. This gives you an idea about the impact of supply chain on the world. The top row of the numbers talks about the impact of supply chain on a humanity. The row in the second talks about the impact of supply chain on the organizations. And the last one talks about the digital transformation, how much is the money involved in this business, right? So if you look at the top one, you can see 1 billion people could get out of the poverty because of the supply chain. If you look at the second row, it says 5% of the profit can be impacted if your supply chain is not working for a couple of months, right? And if you look at the last one, that says that the technology in the supply chain world has a potential of $50 billion, 11 trillion of the industry. That has a lot of potential, right? So again, we are talking about how critical supply chain is. Let's talk about the challenges and the landscape in the current world with the supply chain. Things never move smoothly, right? That's the effect of the world. And we have seen supply chains have gone through a lot of ups and downs, right from COVID, then a lot of government imposing some duties on one another, and that creating a lot of disruptions in the supply chain, right? And the latest one, of course, the slide that talks about the challenges that I was talking, geopolitical disturbances, weather, economical challenges, embargoes, that creates and disrupts huge problems in supply chain. So the latest one, the typhoons, right? One of the examples of how weather can impact the supply chain. We all know that it impacted the west coast of the country really hard. Western Railway canceled like 67 trains, can you imagine and believe? And like 4 and 5 ports were completely stopped the operations because of the impact of the typhoon, right? So it's pretty critical. So what do we do when we have a world which is a never normal world? When the world is never normal and you know the supply chain is critical and you want your supply chain to be working efficiently, it is only one way, and that way is adapting the technology very, very fast, creating an ecosystem that provides you and equip you with the data and information which is real time, so that your decision makings are really fast and your decision makings are dependent on the data, right? And that eventually makes your supply chain resilient, right? When you have information, when you have data, you know what's happening, your supply chains are resilient. So what is the meaning of resilient supply chain? It's a supply chain which reacts in a timely manner when there are disruptions, and a supply chain which is resilient that makes the lesser and lesser impact, lesser possible impact on your business. That's how you define the resilient supply chains, right? I'm sure a lot of you have heard about a lot of incidents and issues. If I ask a question, a very quick question, how many of you were brought into board discussions and CIO and CTO discussions when there were problems in the supply chain? I'm sure many people, right? Any hands? Okay. So then many. So this is one of the examples that happened not far beyond, in the past. This is a container vessel that ran aground in a Suez Canal. Now you know the width of the Suez Canal, how much it is, right? When a vessel runs aground and it blocks the Suez Canal is the only way that connects the Asia Pacific with Europe. And when that is blocked, thousands and hundreds of vessels are blocked, and a supply chain which is so much dependent from Asia Pacific to Europe is completely down, right? And that creates, and I was talking to somebody in the coffee break, they said because of this issue, their containers were blocked for 4 months, right? And when you have a resilient supply chain, what difference it can make? This is one example. When this happened, our customers were able to find out which containers are on this vessel, which containers were on the other vessels which were blocked by this vessel, and what is the content of that container, how many of my customers and what production sites are affected by this blockage. So now you see, if I have that information, my supply chain is automatically resilient because I have a lot of information and data that can now help me take a faster decision. So if I know that this blockade is a very, very difficult and it's not going to resolve, I'm going to find an alternate solution immediately, right? And the answer is yes, the data of visibility can definitely make your supply chains very, very resilient and agile, yeah? So I go to next and talk about what do we do as a company, Project 44. When you want to make supply chains visible, when you want all the data and information, the basic question is, do we have that network? Do we have that connectivity to receive all these data from all my suppliers, all my carriers, all my systems? Do we have that connectivity? And the answer is right now, unfortunately, no. We are connected, I'm sure, but we are not connected in a way that gets us an information that is important to us, that makes our things actionable, right? And that is how, back in 2014, a decade back almost, Project 44 came into an existence, and we thought we can be a connective tissue in a supply chain. If I have to give you an analogy, I can say, imagine few decades back, you have a bank card and you are not able to swipe that transaction if you are out of the country. Now today it's possible, right? You can go to any corner in the world and swiping is so fast, blink of your eyes, you are able to make the payment at the POS. Any POS that works because there is an underlying network, the banking and financial transaction network that has been created. And Project 44 is on that journey of creating a network of logistics world by connecting boats, by connecting planes, trucks, any industrial asset or any logistic asset that moves around the world. We want to create a connection to that. And we are very, very successful in these last 10 years. We are connected to all the shipping lines in the world. We are connected to 150,000 trucking companies, 125 to 130 airlines in the world. So today, if your cargo is moving on any of the assets, there is a possibility that we are connected and we are able to give that information. Where is that cargo? Where is that order, right? And that's what we do. So, and we do it with a lot of reliable data quality. When you talk about data quality, when you gather and when you talk about data, it is important to talk about the quality, right? The data should be complete, the data should be reliable, and it should be timely, and that's what we do. I know we are running out of that time, and I need to run very, very fast. We work with top supply chain companies in the world. Gartner every year talks about top supply chain companies. So 25 top supply chain companies they announce. 15 of those supply chain companies have opted to go for a supply chain visibility, and we are proud to work with them. And basically what we do with them is the same thing. Right from the source of the raw material to your raw material going to your factories, final product is produced and that product is delivered to your customers in any corner of the world, from the source to the destination, you have a complete understanding and visibility of what's happening, right? That's what we have achieved with these top supply chain companies of the world. So we are talking about an end-to-end visibility, which you see on the screen here, right from the factory or the raw material supplier in China that goes to the port, then port to another port, that is the destination port, and then you have a trucking or rail that brings the raw material to your factories, right? And eventually you produce, and the cycle starts again from your factory to your customers. I can give you many, many use cases and examples. Automotive industries, chemical industries, what are the biggest drives to have the supply chain visibility? The number one drive is a customer experience. The number one drive is to tell your customers when their order is arriving, like Amazon experience in B2B world. The second drive is in supply chain world, we spend a lot of money in penalties, demurrage and detention, trucks waiting time, you are unnecessarily paying. When you have a visibility, you create that efficiency and avoid those expenses, yeah? So we provide end-to-end supply chain visibility with end-to-end ETA, so you exactly know when the cargo is arriving. And this is our solution, Movement, which is an end-to-end global supply chain visibility platform. It gives you visibility at order level, means you can type in a part number on our platform and can see that part number is on which truck, that part number is on which container, and answer your customers, answer your production team when that material is arriving, yeah? That's what we do. And I will very, very quickly go to the next slides because we are running out of the time. So we do visibility. We also do workflow management, meaning before the transportation is booked, we are able to help you plan and book with our platform. That's what we are able to do. And sustainability. I know there was a presentation from Micheline about sustainability. We do a lot. We'll talk about that. And I'm gonna very, very quickly talk about sustainability, play one video, and I'm done. I know I'm the only one in between your lunch now, I guess, or maybe some new networking sessions. So sustainability, what we do, if you don't know how much is a carbon emission, you cannot control that, right? And we help you calculate scope 3 emission. 60% of your logistics carbon emission, your carbon emission, 60% comes from the logistics world, right? And you are not able to control that. You cannot control truck, vessels, and planes. What we do is we connect with them. We know what engines, fuels they use, what route they use, and we calculate the carbon emissions for you. And once you know your carbon emissions, you can, as an organization, you can have targets. When are we going to be a carbon neutral, right? So what we play a very, very important role, tiny bit, but we help you calculate how much is the emission from your supply chain activities. That's what we do. I will play one video, that's the end, and we will go with that. So can we skip that? Skip that? Yeah, let's play this video. So this is our real product. I'll play this. Okay, so the sound is not working, you know, the technical glitch, but maybe I can, while it is, it's working, maybe I can talk, right? Can you play that video from there? Okay.
People are talking. They're talking about
supply chain.
the supply chain.
Global supply chain.
Supply chain issues isn't going to be over anytime soon.
Empty shelves.
And soaring prices.
That's one of the biggest challenges facing companies around the world.
This is real-time data that we are showing you from Project 44.
If there's anything to be learned from the past few years, it's that things don't always go according to plan. Everyone is asking when.
When will it rain?
When will it stop raining?
When will the chip shortage end? When will gas prices drop? When will inflation end?
When will my shipment arrive?
And despite global challenges, Supply chains keep the world moving. And it takes all of us to make them work. And when they work, it's like magic. Thanks to Movement by Project 44, the answer to where your stuff is and when it will arrive is at your fingertips. Proactively manage exceptions, reroute around congestion, and focus your team on what really matters. Every order, every shipment, every mode, everywhere. All from a single platform. Because when we connect all parts of the supply chain together, we can make it work. Movement by Project 44.
Thank you. So with this a short little video, and I'm here for, how much time we have? Do we have time for questions? Afterwards? Okay, so sorry about this, but I'm here full day until the evening. And if you have any questions about your supply chain, how we can help, what we can do together, please see me here. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
All right.